Hey everyone. Thanks for trickling in here. I think everyone's on their summer vacations and everyone I've called's been at the beach. Anyone at the beach right now? I think I've got the chat open here. Can you hear me okay, Amy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect.
Well, thanks everyone for joining here. Let's give everyone a few minutes. Hey Ben, you at the beach? I guess Zoom doesn't really let you send pictures, does it? Or can you? I guess GIFs. Hey Paul, thought I'd put you in the panelist spot there if you want to answer any questions we get here. All right, everybody, let's give it a couple more minutes here and then we'll kick this off. I should play some lovely intro music. Have my yerba mate. I guess it is technically the July 4th weekend coming up for those of you in the US here. Okay, there's Scott. Let me pop him in here. Hello from Sweden. Nice. I've been to Denmark. My dad used to always call it Denland. I'm like, no, it's Denmark. Hey, Scott. Just made you a co-host there. You should be able to pop in there.
It's saying I'm unable to.
You can now.
Okay.
I should let you put video on. Cool. I was just saying, it's summertime, July 4th weekend. We'll just let people trickle in.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people watch this one on the recording here. Finland, Sweden. Look at these guys. Thank you. Yeah, I could, when I was in Denmark, I could see across the water to Sweden. My mom's side's all from Germany. Family line is Federer. So, hey, we got some from Hungary. Man, Europe showing up today. Thank you. Yeah, so today's webinar is a little bit unique because we're going to be talking about one of the promotions we have, and we'll be talking about it all of July. And we wanted to go through some updates on the tokenized carbon because we're going to be talking about that a lot and documenting that process. And so it's a bit technical in nature. And I think those of you that kind of have been following blockchain and following product development will find this kind of interesting. And so I've asked Amy to join as well. But Scott, you want to just kick us off here and kind of tell us where things are at, what you'll be doing here this summer? And I know Scott just got back from Switzerland. Maybe you could give an update on how that trip went and all that good stuff.
We do board meetings in Switzerland because we are in the process of becoming a Swiss entity, which is exciting on a lot of different levels. Number one, Switzerland is awesome. For all of you in Europe that have been there, what a beautiful country. Between regulation and just ease and just the crypto-friendly nature of their policies and their government, there's just a lot of uncertainty with here in the United States with the SEC. They're trying to turn everything, anyway. There's just a lot of uncertainty with the regulation, so we're just going to kind of get out in front of that. And so yeah, lots of exciting things happening in the company as far as product build out. We've got some exciting things happening in Africa that we're going to talk about today. We're really doing a really good, much better job of tying in the mines. When we first started this company, we were talking about what does it mean to digitize gold, and really our way of digitizing gold is incentivizing gold miners to do something else with the land rather than mine it. And if we can make them more partners of ours and being part of the solution and generate revenue for them in ways that exceeds the revenue they would get from gold mining, or at least offset some of that, then we believe we can make a real change, because not only does it have an effect on the environment, it has an effect on the people. And we think about some of these projects that we're working on and how we can turn entire villages into reclaimers of the land and stewards of the land, rather than being exploited to be destroyers of the land and be a part of this exploitative mining industry. Now, not all mining is like that. There are so many great miners doing amazing things, and we need all these minerals. But man, there's this underbelly, this seedy, dirty underbelly of certain mining that we're trying to solve problems in. Blockchain technology is perfect for that. The programs and the products that we have are perfect for that. And the beautiful thing is it involves everybody. Since we're all part of the problem, we create these solutions where we can all be part of that solution. So it's really fun, and it's really inclusive of everybody. We are able to allow participation from virtually the entire world, whether it's helping us to run the blockchain, or whether it's employing them in these carbon credit projects, or them participating in the games that we're developing. Really is a worldwide effort because it's a worldwide problem. So fun. We're trying to include you guys more. We want everybody to be really part of the blockchain. Is this you get this this open, transparent, these things that the blockchain allows us to do from bringing things to light and making sure that everybody knows what's going on, whether it's in transactions. And so we're basically trying to bring these same things into what we are doing. So when we say, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to, fix these gold mines, or we're going to, do this or that, we're going to document all of it. And we want as many of you along for the ride as we can, because when you guys are involved and you guys see that what we're doing is real and that it has a real impact, I think that's what really gets people motivated. Because Chris and I, Amy, we can sit up here all we want and say, yeah, we're going to do all these amazing things. But really where this thing gets legs and takes off is if you guys, our community, see things firsthand, you get to participate firsthand, you get the satisfaction of solving these problems firsthand. So our job is to bring you into that as much as we can. And obviously you guys have your own things that you can do independent as members of the blockchain with your charter and with voting, and you guys have a real big say in it. But we also want to bring you onto our side of the journey as far as showing you the problems and letting you be a part of that solution with us. So we're trying to give some incentives to help you guys get the word out. We haven't even really had like an official coming out party. We launched, but when it comes to, hey, let's take our message to the world, that message is so much better when it comes from you guys. So we're doing things to help you get motivated, to help you be excited, and to let this community really grow organically through you guys, through your excitement, through your commitment to being a part of the solution. And quite honestly, because there's something in it for you, right? That's the beauty of the blockchain, is that there's this great incentive mechanism built in for you to care about these problems that exist and to want to be part of the solution. So anyway, with that, I'll go ahead and turn time back over to Chris to talk about what we're doing. Obviously, a lot of you guys have heard about it, but we're going to give you a little bit more detail about some of these big incentive that we're doing, going to be coming up this fall. So Chris, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Scott went on a 5-year safari. So this is a 5-day safari, not a 5-year, just to be clear, Scott.
And I didn't see any animals. Yeah, Ghana has no animals. So my safari was definitely a jungle, but without any of the animals.
Scott thought it said 5-year, and he says, I don't know if I can do another 5-year run. I said, okay, well,
I couldn't do another 5 days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So everybody, thanks for joining here, and those watching on the replay. Scott set the stage really well here, and I'm going to screen share and show you kind of what we've got here. All right. So what Scott said is exactly right. As a community, we need to make sure that everyone knows what we're doing and really can like feel it, touch it, understand it, because then the sharing of it becomes much more powerful. And so over the month of July, we have a promotion set up where we are putting together a safari November 5th, and we are looking at 2 entry points, either through the Kenya side of the Mara or the Tanzania side of the Serengeti. And so we've got about 15 slots opened up for kind of this first group. We'll see how many people really want to do this. Had around 7 or 8 people already kind of teased it out a little bit, said they wanted to do it. So I'm excited to see how many people want to come with us. It's a 5-day safari, and I got to go down with David and do this, and it was just amazing. They have these kind of glamping tents set up. You know, tent doesn't do it justice. It's solar powered. You can take a hot shower, comfortable beds, you know, breakfast, dinner included. We have the safari vehicles and drivers and entrance into the Mara and the Serengeti to go explore and kind of just, it's just an adventure. It's one of those things that's, it's not Disneyland. It's not like you're guaranteed to see anything, you know? When we went down, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to see anything, you know, we're going to get lucky or not. So part of that adrenaline rush was kind of the excitement. You're driving. It's like, everyone's kind of looking out, trying to spot, you know, and it's like, okay, I saw something. What is it? David notoriously kept spotting things that weren't accurate. I think he kept thinking he was seeing things that we'd slow down and it was nothing. So I was like, okay, David, you're done spotting. I would say probably the highlight, I think some of you got to see the video of it, is seeing these baby elephants. And I'll take some screenshots of my videos and start posting some on Twitter and Instagram and Discord so you guys can see them. But the peak really was seeing this baby elephant. Like I'm, you know, some people are diehard animal people, and I had a dog growing up and loved my dog, and seeing this baby elephant, I was like, man, okay, I guess this is why people go on this. It was definitely the peak moment. And when we were going out into the Serengeti and driving around, like I said, you really don't know what you're going to see, and you're kind of off-roading it. You're kind of like, okay. You know, it's not like the zoo where they're behind bars and they're just sitting in there. I mean, these are wild animals out in their natural habitat, and it's very rare to see that. I never grew up seeing that. You know, we had the Hogle Zoo here in Utah and the San Diego Zoo, and right, everything's behind bars, and you know, these animals have kind of lost their wild fever. And so off in the distance, I see all these little dots, and I think they're water buffalo or something. And he's like, I don't know what that is, you know. And some guys, it might be elephants. I said, it's not elephants. That's a whole pack of something, you know. And so we kind of go off road on the safari vehicle, and we get out there, and sure enough, it was like 200 elephants, you know. And I'm just like, I didn't think that was possible. I didn't know they were in herds that large of 200. And so, you know, we kind of drive up there and see them, and sure enough, there's little baby elephants in there. Same thing with giraffes. We got to see some baby giraffes. The other peak moment was we were driving along, and we see two lions, just big full bellies, breathing hard, blood down the front of their jowls, and they're just finishing eating, and just you could see they just have eaten so full. Their bellies are just plumb full, and these two lions are just kind of rolling there, eating, enjoying their dinner, and there are hyenas sitting out in the tall grass around the carcass, and the lions eating it. And so we're just sitting there watching this transpire. The vultures are sitting up on the trees. I'm like, well, this is really the circle of life here. And we were with Jay in the safari vehicle, and we couldn't really hear him. David had convinced the person to let us go get up on top of the vehicle. So me and David were up on top of the safari vehicle, and Jay kind of yells out something in kind of like a panicked tone, and we didn't know what he was. And he was like yelling hyena, and there was a hyena right there in the tall grass, you know, like right next to us, and it kind of spooked it and it ran off, you know. So it was honestly an adventure. And like growing up in the US and going to Disneyland, going to the zoos, like this was an authentic adventure. And that's really what we want to invite you to come do. This is less about maybe the costs involved and more just, when do you get an opportunity to go with a group of like-minded people that are doing something in Web3 and blockchain to make an impact, to help locals, and to see it on the ground and kind of be part of that experience is just truly unique. And what made it unique is we have partners now all over Kenya and Tanzania. Impande, he was there, drove us around. Joe, local business owner. Jay, the mine owner. We've got another guy, Bentley and Betty. So we have a whole host of friends and people down there that we trust and make sure that we're taken care of. And so you're coming down with friends and people that are excited to welcome you and do things. And Jay's a real humanitarian. He's done 150 million meals throughout Africa. Like I almost have to like pause there because it's shocking. 150 million meals. And so the government really likes him because he's really made a difference there. And he works with different orphanages and charities. And so we're going to mix in some humanitarian stuff as well to make an impact. So we'd love to have you come out in November with us. The promotion will run till the end of July, and I'll kind of run you through the details here. So I think I've got it here as well if you want to see it in written form. So we've got some packages. So there's a couple ways to participate. You can participate by buying nodes, and then you can participate on the affiliate side if you encourage people to buy nodes. So if you're purchasing nodes, we have kind of 3 ways for you to enter and what you get. If you buy 10 smart nodes by the end of July, you'll receive 1 of the safari packages. The airfare is not included, so you got to get out there. If you buy 15 nodes, you'll receive 2 Safari packages. So you get 1 plus 1 other with a companion, airfare not included. If you get 20 smart nodes, that includes 2 Safari packages and 2 round trip tickets. Each ticket, we can compensate up to $17.50 per person. So those are the 3 ways you can do it. So depending on where you're at and what you want to do, this is how you can get involved on the purchasing side. The selling side, if you have an affiliate link, if you don't and want to get one, ping me. Anyone that buys through your affiliate link, if you do 20 smart nodes, you get 1 Safari package. If you sell 30, you get 2 Safari packages. If you sell 40, you get 2 Safari packages plus 2 tickets. So I linked this in the chat, and we have an official document here that you can read through about the waiver you'll need to sign and what's included and what we're covering and some of the legal disclaimers and travel notes and things like that. Some people have questions and things like that, like, if you do go through Africa, it's good. You need your yellow card, but it's pretty easy to get in. You can fill out the visa form before you go, and they issue you a visa, and they're just very friendly. I think Scott can attest to this. Like, I don't know, if you haven't been to Africa before, like, people are how friendly are the Africans, Scott?
Friendliest people on earth.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, like I felt so comfortable, and everyone looked at me and smiled, and they wear beautiful clothes, and it's colorful, and they're farming, and it's a really nice, beautiful place. And what really impacted me was we met with the government there, and they're anxious to improve. They're anxious to bring in investment and technology and be on the cutting edge and have their people have better access to jobs and the tech that's coming in. And so when we met with the investment council in Tanzania and the government officials in Kenya, they were very much motivated to work with us to make this happen. And so it's, as Scott said it really well, it's important that the community gets to see this. So we really hope, I know a lot of you already have nodes, and this is really kind of the last summer of when we're going to be doing a big push on nodes and getting as many people as we can. We have partnerships now starting in Dubai, India, Singapore, Vietnam, Philippines, Jakarta. We have a real big summer of getting the nodes out to the community. Had multiple calls with people in Europe this week, helping us get out there. So that's really what the focus is going to be, is we need a lot of people holding that token and a big, strong, decentralized blockchain. And then it's moving into the products in Q3 and Q4. And so the second part of this webinar here is I wanted to dive in deeper. If you have questions and stuff, you can ping me in Discord. And I don't know if anyone's had some questions in here, stuff like that. But yeah, so that's the African Safari. I didn't really plan on doing this, but after I got to go there, I was like, you know what, we need to bring some people down. And so I started telling people, you should come on the next Safari with us. And it was like, ask Scott. Like, he said, Chris, I think this is working. Everybody wants to go on the next Safari. I go, I guess so. Like, we kept kind of asking people if they want to come with us. And there's sometimes intimidation about going places you haven't been, and you're with people you don't know, and is it safe, and do you have locals that can help you and do it, and all those kinds of things. And we really have that put together. So we hope you'll join us. Get those nodes going. If you're an affiliate, help us share this, and we'll see how many people want to do this. We've got about 15 slots open here, so kind of do this quick so we can lock this up and get the accommodations done, and then we can see really how many people want to go. If we need to do this in a couple legs, we can, depending on how many people want to do it. Yeah. So Scott, did you have any other thoughts on this? Scott didn't get to come with us, so he says, guys, you got to put together another Safari. I didn't get to come, so
Yeah.
This is also for Scott.
I did get stiffed, and over the last 2 years, I've sold 1,000.
Yeah, you qualify, Scott.
So I should qualify, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun, not only just to get out there, see some animals, but spend a few days with us. But we love reaching out and sharing these types of experiences with our community. We don't sit over here and try to create this stuff and then just not have any contact with you guys. We love having contact with the people that we're having an impact on. We love having contact with you guys, because really this is about you. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. And it's just a way to obviously motivate people to jump in and help us increase our blockchain distribution because again, this doesn't work without a very diverse and distributed blockchain. So this is one of the ways we're going to get it out there, but we want you guys to have some sort of benefit from it as well. So we
Yeah,
look forward to having you out there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you know, just spending a few days with us would be great too. You really get a inside peek of what we're doing and the great things we're trying to accomplish. And we don't hide from our blockchain. We don't hide from our customers. We want to get to know you guys, and because you're all, obviously we're all like-minded. We're all kind of in this journey together in some regards, right? Because we all have a common bond of wanting to do some good. And so yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
so let me address, we've had some questions around like why we're starting to do promotions, because you know we really haven't done any, right? So Scott kind of brought this up, like we really haven't done any kind of promotion like this ever. And the reason is the real reward was, you know, getting your node early and getting it started. You've gotten to get that distribution. And so now that that distribution has started and people have been able to run nodes, we now need to do things to bring in that next round of people. You know, if you got started with this early and got to get your node started day one, then you've gotten to get that distribution from day one. And so these promotions that we're putting up are time-based and have a start date and an end date for the project. So people that start buying these, you know, today through the end of July can qualify for the Safari promo. And really what I want to transition into here, and I asked Amy to jump on, is I want to talk about the token utilization and what really is the plan for the Element token. And when we have this conversation, you have to let me throw up the disclaimer. You know, the when we talk about the Element token, it is you know, Element United is separate from the Element, the blockchain. And the things when we talk about today with the Element token specifically are forward-looking. These are things that we're looking to do with the Element token and find utilization for it. And we've got a really one that I think is coming along really good, and it is these tokenized carbon credits. And not, just to spoil the ending, it is that these tokenized carbon credits are something that are valuable and people want. And we're setting it up so that if they want those, they would need to trade them for Element tokens. And so any blockchain project out there has to look at their token use case and what people are using the token for. And so as you all know, we're looking to partner with mines and create products and solve problems and find use cases for the Element token to, you know, be part of those products and influence those changes. And so do want to talk about that. How'd I do there, Scott? Did I tiptoe good? Yeah, everyone says we got to get through the legal part. Okay, so let's dive in here. And so I've asked Amy to join me here. And this second half of the conversation here is really where I hope you all just kind of, I know you've heard us talk about this, but this is really what we're going to document. I am leaving next week to go to Tanzania and go to Kenya. I've got like 20 appointments there with governments, landowners, mine owners, people in the environmental space. Like, this is happening. We are down there to negotiate those deals and put together these projects so that we can do the carbon offset into carbon credits. And I want to walk through it a little bit here with you so that you can understand really what you're supporting and what the products that are being built are doing in regards with the blockchain and the token. Okay. And you know, we can't emphasize this enough that we don't know what's going to happen with the price, and we don't know what the market's going to do. We can't predict any of that, but we can look at what product we're building and what the marketplaces look like and how we can address those things. Okay, so climate change has been on people's radar for a long time. The Kyoto Protocols laid out all of the science. We see the acidification of the ocean, the rising sea levels. Everybody knows that yeah, maybe not everybody knows, but it's like everybody wants phones and batteries and cars and screens. And well, guess what? It's all got to come out of the earth, and that comes at a cost. It comes at a cost to both people and the environment. All right. So it's like, what do you do about it? And you see all these news articles about the issues around climate. And what's changing now is companies, governments, and consumers are participating in carbon offsets. They are putting money towards projects. They are doing climate pledges. You can pay money to offset your carbon when you fly, okay? And so we've seen the use case around the voluntary carbon credit market. It was about 500 to $1 billion in 2022. Right now, it's estimated to be $2 or $3 billion. But the growth around the government and the consumer demand and the companies participating, the voluntary carbon credit market could be $1 to $2 trillion by the end of the 2020s, early 2030s. So this is a very robust, growing market, and I'm glad to see some of our European friends here, because I think Europe is really ahead of this. They are participating a lot with this. A lot more projects are popping up in Europe, and people are buying these and things like that. So those of you in Europe, I bet you see this a lot more. That almost probably every company is doing some kind of carbon offset kind of thing. So this is a growing market, but what's happening is you're seeing the lack of transparency, verification in the carbon credits. Like if you Google Delta greenwashing, you'll see this come up. The first article here is, Delta was buying carbon offsets, and it turns out that they were greenwashing. They weren't even real, So companies are trying to participate in this. They're trying to do the good thing, but sometimes they don't do it right. They buy the wrong ones, and it goes to the wrong projects. If you search Verra, they're one of the major, here, I'll pull it up here. Verra is one of the major verification groups for carbon credits. Here, I'll show you this. So Verra does verification of carbon credits. It turns out that more than 90% of their carbon offsets are worthless. So you've got this big demand, the growing marketplace, companies trying to participate, but they're picking the wrong projects, and the verification ones are not doing it right. So the blockchain comes in to address that and help fix that. So that is the starting point of the marketplace and problems and use cases around the tokenization part. And so tokenization is all the rage right now. If you go to blockchain forums and you go to these events, you're hearing a lot about tokenization. You can tokenize real estate. You can tokenize in-ground assets, right? A lot of you know about the NFT technology. And so the tokenization is really a layered approach of doing what this just says here: transparency, trust, decentralized, verification, impact. All of those powerful data gathering concepts can be put into a smart contract and tokenized so that people will trust it more. And so we have been working with some marketplaces that are now selling tokenized carbon credits, and it's working. One particular marketplace that we've been reaching out to had 8 projects brought on that were selling tokenized carbon credits, and they sold out. And the reason that people are buying these tokenized carbon credits is there's a tech stack involved that I wanted to go through with you. And I know this is detailed, so thank you for everyone for sticking with me here, because I know this gets heavy, right? So me and Amy nerd out on this all day, but I know this gets kind of heavy here. So when you're looking at a tokenized carbon credit, you have to look at what data is being gathered and then put into that tokenized carbon credit. And we have a whole host of data points that will make our tokenized carbon credits very powerful. Okay, we have a baseline in feasibility studies. We have what are called IoT devices, Internet of Things. Some of you maybe have heard of these. You maybe have heard of like helium. They have the helium miners, or Raspberry Pi that you put into a device. And these IoT devices are now being used all over the world. We just found out yesterday that in India, for example, 3 million farmers are now using IoT devices on their farms to gather the air quality, the water quality of the dirt, if there's fires. We're working with a group right now that's deployed IoT devices in vineyards. And so what we're looking to do is our tech team and our engineers are working on these IoT devices to be put on the actual farms, the tree farms, to gather data points. Like I just said, the moisture quality, the air quality, the carbon capture. And so these are very powerful devices that can gather that information. We also have another group that uses LiDAR and satellite to measure emissions, growth rates, if the trees are alive, those kinds of things. So what's happening is a company like Delta says, I want to buy some carbon offsets. Our consumers want to pay money for it. who am I supposed to pick? I picked this one, I was wrong. This Vera company seems like I can't trust them. And it's like, we want to come into the space and say, we use a powerful tech stack and the power of blockchain tokenization to ensure that the carbon capture is happening and what you are purchasing can be trusted. Secondarily, and maybe I have something here. Oh, yeah, well, let me. So I kind of mentioned those IoT devices, but these are very cool. Having these things like real-time field monitoring is important. And the point I was going to get at is companies now want to buy up to 40 years worth of carbon offsets. 40 years. Can you imagine purchasing anything and hoping it's going to be okay in 40 years? That's a pretty bold. I can't think of anything people do besides maybe a house that they're like, I think this is going to be here in 40 years. You know, I trust it. And carbon credits is one of those. And using the tech stack I just mentioned of the IoT devices, the LiDAR and the satellites, we can now update that token, that smart contract with all of that data. So that the people that are buying this, like Delta and Dutch Air and whoever's doing it, when they buy these carbon credits, these tokenized carbon credits, that can continue to be updated every 3, 6, 9, 12 months. And they can see that they're the carbon's still being collected and they can trust that. So that's a big game changer. The other thing about these tokenized carbon credits is it becomes a use case, and I think we have a slide here. Yeah, you guys have seen these horrible pictures here. We've shown those. I wanted to show that one you had here. Where was it? Yeah, so the Niamongo project that we're working on, so we have one in Kenya and then one in Tanzania. That's where we're looking to create the use cases for this. And I'm going there on July 7th. I'll be in Tanzania for a week, and then I'm going to go up to Kenya. And so what our hope is that as we get these projects online and show that these tokenized carbon credits are more valuable and we start to establish buyers, the goal is that the Element blockchain is the tokenizer, and that people that want those tokenized carbon credits would need to purchase them with the Element token. Once again, this is not a price prediction. It is looking at use case and marketplaces and how a blockchain product really fits into a marketplace. And once again, the Element United is separate from the Element blockchain, and these products that are being developed are separate. But that is one of the use cases that we're looking to do. That's the forward-looking statement, is we want to build this type of a product to address a marketplace and growth and do some good with it. The great thing about tokenized carbon credits is they're a powerful way to offset a lot of the damage that's happening. The trees that are planted are actually considered some of the highest forms of carbon offset because of how powerful and long term they serve there. And they can provide food. They can provide, we're looking at eucalyptus and avocado. Those provide food and resources, and so the local communities can benefit from those. So there's a lot of use cases there for that. Amy, what else would you add on here? Did I nail it all? What did I miss?
I think you're pretty much getting it all. What we are doing is we're, in addition to that, we're working with community groups to develop organizational statuses for, these planting projects so that they will be monitored, over their lifetime.
Scott, what was the name of that Kumasi River that you did? What was the name of it? Say it again.
The Ofin River.
OFIN.
Yeah, Ofin River. So it's called the Ofin Ondunkwa. If you're going to Google Earth it, which I think is what you're about to do.
I am.
OFFIN Ondunkwa. DUN.
Yeah, it's near Kumasi. Yeah.
Yeah, it's south of Kumasi.
So Scott, we talked a little bit about this in our last webinar, and I really liked that of the, so Scott has a unique take on this because the other use case we're looking at is these areas get destroyed in mining and they don't really have an incentive, even though they're supposed to do it, they don't have an incentive to really reclaim the land. There's no financial utility. And so I wanted to show him that again to Scott, and I want you to kind of tell us how you think these carbon credit incentives for reclamation work. Tell me where I'm going here. Here's the Ofin River. Is that right here? Ofin?
Yeah. So just zoom in anywhere. Everywhere you see, look, everywhere you see are the remnants of gold mines. So you can see the original river, right? That kind of snakes through there, that kind of brown.
Yeah.
Everywhere next to it. Now zoom out a little bit, Chris. This is a really good point. These are all gold mines that were never reclaimed. And when they are not reclaimed, the native vegetation will never grow back. Most of these had cocoa plantations near them that were torn down in order for them to go in and mine, taking away the livelihood of the village. This is the problem that we're trying to solve. So everything that you see on this screen that isn't green are gold mines, and they have not been reclaimed. They have not been returned. You know how easy it is to return this back to the native soil? You get a bulldozer and you take some of these piles that you see here and you fill in the holes. You put the gravel back in first, and then you put the native soil back on top. It's that simple. Then everything just grows. I mean, we used to joke that no matter what you threw on the ground in Ghana, that a tree would grow. Like, so like if you threw a fork on the ground, we would joke that a fork tree would grow, because that's how rich and fertile the soil is.
I mean, look how bad this is, Scott. Like, this
But
looks so
exactly.
churned up.
But not when you do this. So you can see the big piles. The white piles that's all the gravel that was brought up. So they would dig these holes, take the gravel over to these areas and process it and get all the gold out of it, but they would not take it back. What we are aiming to do is to fill in these holes, gravel first, native soil on top, and let everything begin to grow back. We can do carbon credit projects here. We can replant cocoa, or we can just let it grow back to whatever the native trees are, and reclaim the land. This is the impact that we're trying to have. And but yeah, it's and scroll out a little bit more, and let me just give you guys, this is right there. Just stop right there. Say go over to the left, right there. These
Is that all churned up land?
it's pretty, zoom in.
My gosh.
These are gold mines, guys.
Jeez.
Every pit is a gold mine. This is what we're trying to stop. This is what we're trying to fix, and we're going to allow the community to be a part of it and reward you for being a part of it. But this is gold mining. Some of the gold in your phone probably came from right here, because this is such a high yield gold area in the world. I think it's ranked number 4 in all of Africa. But you probably have something in your computer or your phone that came from one of these pits. These are Google Earth. This is all live. This is all real. We're not making this up. You guys can go find this on your own. But this is the heart of the problem that we're trying to solve. And some of the holes were probably mine.
Well, the thing I want to highlight here is Scott said it. You're right, Scott. You're supposed to reclaim this, right? It's a law to reclaim it. And so why aren't they doing that? Why aren't they reclaiming it if it's a law?
Because from the government down to the actual miners to the villagers, there's no incentive for them to reclaim it. Exactly. They don't care. They're just going to move to the next hole, which is what they did. Typically, you would fill in one hole with the previous hole, but they're not even doing that, because it takes too much fuel to run an excavator and a dozer when they could be undigging a new hole. It costs the same to fill in a hole as it does to dig out a hole. Well, actually, it's not. It's actually a lot less, because you can just get a dozer and push it in. But they don't even want to waste those resources. They'd rather just dig a new hole and save the fuel and labor to get more gold out, and not.
We need to restore the Ofen River to a 4-star rating, Scott. See here, it's only a 3.7. We need to bring that up. Hey, Amy, will you talk about how the perceived value of an actual reforested, reclaimed carbon credit is viewed price-wise and impact-wise? I remember you gave me some insights. Will you give an insight on that?
Well, first, if I can just add to this, I was just reading about Ghana, and they're supposed to be the first nation that is completely dependent on outside water. Like, all of this is polluting their fresh water systems. And so they're going to have to ship it all in.
Oh, jeez. Did you know that, Scott? I mean, that is shocking.
I had no idea. That is shocking.
I mean, I've always heard you say like their water was kind of hurt, but I always think like a small little pool of water or something. But that's pretty shocking, Amy. So, Amy, tell us about the value of. I just wanted to tack on that. Like, my understanding is when you do reclamation and actually reforestry, that the carbon capture is actually seen as more valuable because it's had a bigger impact. Is that accurate, or what have you seen on that?
What you're looking at is additionality. I think, is that what you're going for? When you plant, you're adding more opportunities for carbon sequestration.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I bring this up is if you go look at marketplaces, and I could even just show you one. I don't think it's a big deal if we show you some of these marketplaces, but the story matters. So that's kind of what I'm highlighting here. Like, I love hearing Scott talk about this and Amy highlighting these things, because I just like going back to Delta. They're like, well, we get it. We know that our planes cause problems and our consumers want to offset that. We got to go buy a carbon offset. Who do we pick? So the story matters. So when we talk about partnering with mines that are at the heart of this, where the destruction's happening, and creating carbon offsets that they can buy, the story really matters. So when you're feeding people and creating local industries and hiring them and helping third world countries develop with the tax revenues, that all goes into the story. And they look at those and say, yeah, I want to get those, right? And how do I get them, right? The use case is they have to have that element token to get those carbon credits, you know? So anyway, so that's what we're going to be working on right now. And our plan is, you know, as I'm out in Africa and we're doing things, we really want to kind of just bring everybody into this. So we hope you don't get tired of hearing about this, but we want to document this and bring you on the journey with us, because those of you that are running nodes and holding those tokens, that's what you're looking at is, well, what's going to be the product use case? And once again, we don't know what the outcome is or whatever the financial side is, but we can look at the use case for the impact in the marketplace that we can do these in. I will tack on one other thing here about the Web3 gaming side. I know a lot of you have been asking about the game. We did create some alpha assets around the game. This is one of them. Because we did not have the Mind partnership in place, a lot of the alpha assets ended up being more kind of based around space. And so we've taken a lot of these alpha assets and they're now being reworked towards the Tanzanian mine, the Niamongo mine. And so we're still shooting for a Q3 launch of that game. So those of you that got NFTs and are still looking forward to the gaming side of things, that's still happening. It's another use case for the element token. The goal being we want that token to be part of the play to earn and part of that marketplace. So once again, we don't know the cost or financial side of things. Scott, you want to throw your 2 cents towards this game and what you're seeing kind of on your side of what's happening?
The game is going to be fantastic. It's a way for us to really bring in tens of thousands of people into this community. Every one of them will be earning the element token. They will be opening up wallets. But more importantly, we're bringing in tens of thousands of people into this solution solving problem, right? We're creating the solution and we're allowing tens of thousands of people to be a part of it. And if I were a gamer and I saw a game where I can actually earn element while being a part of a problem or a solution to a massive problem, that's a game that I would play, right? If I'm getting paid to play a game that's also contributing to a really good cause, then great. I'm all in for it. And so we look at the game accomplishing 2 things. Number one, bringing in a lot of people into this ecosystem. And then second, solving some real problems and making sure that anybody can contribute directly to being a part of the solution to this massive problem that exists out there. Because as you earn, there'll be some mechanisms in there where we match earnings that we can donate to some of these projects, where there'll be some unlocks that allow us to accomplish some real good things. And, maybe one of them, like you mentioned, Chris, repairing a water well or filling in some of these holes where there's direct impact from our community who are now mining digitally while the gold stays in the ground, and we get to go fix up some problems from the years past. So, it's a win-win-win. A win for us, win for you, win for the community, and everybody can be earning that token. There'll be some things in there where they can earn silver coins, gold coins. They can earn light nodes. They can learn smart nodes by having in-game prizes and objectives. So what a really cool way for us to share this message with a lot of people. And really it again goes back to the incentive. We're going to let people earn, and that will bring the awareness and the masses into helping us solve this problem in a really fun way, right? It's like when you're a little kid and your mom mixes your medicine in with something really yummy, and so you take the medicine. That's kind of what we're trying to do with this game, is mix in some rewards and some earnings and a lot of fun, while you directly or indirectly help us solve problems. So
spoken like a non-gamer, taking your medicine. I love gaming. Yeah. I'll sit on the game drip for 12 hours, Scott. I'm a gamer.
The medicine, listen. The thing that you disguise the medicine is the gaming, right?
I see. Yes. But it does something good. And I wanted to highlight what Scott just said there from a game mechanic side is, inside of the game, we have a progress mechanic where people can unlock humanitarian projects, So couple last things to close this out. I want to talk about the roadmap, and I want to talk about some things on the back end here. We have a new back end that's going to be rolling out one of the most requested features is people would like to be able to purchase Ethereum on the spot and then check out. And so we have an integration that's going to be online with one of our sister blockchains, SwitchPay, and it's going to allow you to purchase ETH and get it in about 30 minutes or less, and you can check out with that. So as we're growing this worldwide, we need better and easier ways for people to come in and purchase a node without too much friction. And so we're excited about that. Some of you have had questions. We have some videos on our YouTube channel about what we're doing with the wallet. So you'll see some updates on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed there, and you can see some of the updates about the wallet. I'll be posting kind of the list of the tech upgrades that are happening. Most of you know that the bridge is live. You don't have to do it, but you can. If you're interested in bridging over to the ERC20 tokens, that allows you to do other things with it. With it as it being a full ERC20 token, and you want to move it around to different places. And then those of you that are on our affiliate program or interested in joining, please feel free to reach out to me. We want to be extremely helpful. And so I wanted to kind of go through the roadmap, and then I'll let Scott close it out. This summer is really kind of one of our last big pushes for year one distribution node onboarding. And so as you're seeing, we are going to do lots of promotions and fun ways for people to get involved, to incentivize people for people to get onboarded. So that's the Safari promo and some other things. So keep an eye out for that. So that's what we're going to be doing kind of this summer, Q2 and into early Q3. And then it's into products. We want to start onboarding people into the games, selling carbon credits, and put that Element token to use. Get it out working and having the utility and the impact that we want it to have, And then Q4 is we're looking at the impact side of things. And so we're hoping to get Scott back out to Ghana at that point and do some reclamation, like you said, bringing out a first and second groups of Safari people that want to go out to the mines in November and looking at the impact. And that's what we're looking to, get through by the end of the year here. And so the big thing is just getting those nodes out there, as many as we can worldwide, getting these products online in Q3, showing that they work, and then starting to work with our mine partners around the world, and then focusing on the impact of those products. And so we feel really good about our roadmap. Our team's been growing, and despite whatever the market's doing, whatever you want to call it, if you think it's a crypto winter or whatever it is, we've really hadn't had any problems there. We've been able to operate inside of this, and it's actually been an advantage for us because people are looking for utility. They're looking for use case and impact, and we hit those targets. And so we've had a lot of success there. And I'm going to be now moving forward. I will be out in Asia. So any of you with Asia connections, or next time you see me on video and things like that, I will be out helping develop our Asia partnerships and the Africa partnership. So we'll let Scott hold down the U.S. front, and I'll hold down the Asia front. So that's what I got for today. And Scott, I'll let you close it out.
When you see Chris holding really weird hours, it's because he's going to be on the opposite side of the world, which for a lot of you on this call won't be that big of a deal. In fact, you'll probably be on a closer time zone than you are to him now.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody kind of feels the momentum that we have here. We are on the verge of doing something really great. I think we're on the verge of a revolution where this thing is going to go, I believe. This whole movement that we have is going to go really viral with the partners that we have lined up, and with just the timing of it all, with so many people becoming aware of where these elements and these materials come from, with the emergence of blockchain and its acceptance, and with the crypto market starting to rebound and recover. We look at where we're positioned, not only in the timing of the market, but just with this awareness, with people actually starting to care about what's happening in the world. And we've seen this in the past. There's some precedent here with blood diamonds and with child sex slavery, with these movements that just caught fire. We're about to catch fire, I believe, from a problem-solving perspective, and we're grateful for all of you guys being a part of it. You guys really are the early adopters, and you guys are the risk takers. You guys are the ones that you're the visionaries, and we're grateful to be along this journey with you. And stay with us, help us to get the word out there. And I want you guys to all look back and say, yeah, I was with Element a year before they even announced this or that. And there's going to be some in my opinion, some clout that comes along with that, because I think we're on the verge of doing really great things. And we always look at things from a problem solving perspective. We want to find the biggest problems that are out there and solve them, and then let everything else take care of itself. Chris is very cautious today, not talking about any sort of future earnings. And that's true. We don't ever talk about that. We don't ever want to talk about that. We want to first say, here's the problem that needs to be solved. Here's how we want to solve it. And then let everything else take care of itself. The more people that get involved and the more awareness we can bring to this problem, then all the other stuff takes on a life of its own, which we have no control over, but which we're excited about for you guys. We're also note owners. We're excited about it for us as well. So we appreciate you guys. Get the word out there. There will come a time when others will be pitching you on Element, and you'll have the great fortune of saying, yep, I've known about this for years. I've been with these guys for years. But also on the flip side of that, you'll be like, dang it, why didn't I tell this guy about Element? How come I had to hear it from him? So it's one of these early stage things that we all get excited about to be involved in from an early stage. And just grateful for you guys, and excited to meet some of you who might come out to Africa with us. And just remember that every night that your head hits that nice soft pillow and you get to go to bed, that there are people out there really struggling, looking for clean water, looking for a way to support their families, and being exploited and taken advantage of. And if you always remember that, then that kind of motivates us to get out there and want to do something. We're not trying to boil the ocean. You saw those pictures out there. That's very daunting. We realize that we're not going to solve all these problems at once, but just little by little. And as our movement grows and as more people join, we'll be able to do more things. But nobody's addressing this problem, as you can see from the pictures. What we have is a very unique vehicle in which to address these problems. And we're grateful you're all a part of it, and look forward to meeting some of you. And get out there and let's go Element.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.